Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
For the Americans voting in 2024 election, does Kamala Harris get your vote? Why or why not? Sure, but if you think Reddit will give you a good temperature on America, you're out of your mind. Yep, this is the biggest misconception. If Reddit was indicative of America, Biden would never have dropped out, because he'd be winning in a landslide. So given that, it's kind of funny that the question is, would you vote for Kamala? Of course the overwhelming majority here is going to say yes. She was Biden's VP. If someone was going to vote Trump, they're not going to change their mind now that Harris is the nominee. If anything, she's less popular amongst the right. Reddit is an echo chamber. If Reddit was indicative of America, we'd be on Bernie Sanders' third term. The people you need to hear from aren't on Reddit. I don't think there is a good place at all to ask. Here we'll have you thinking the whole world is going to vote for blue, while in Twitter we'll have you thinking that the whole world will vote for red. There really isn't. The people you want to hear from are the moderate swing voters who don't spend all day on social media and vote based off news highlights once every 4 years. The liberals on Reddit are gonna vote blue and the conservatives on Twitter are gonna vote red. Nothing has changed with those two demographics based off Biden dropping out. Looking at Reddit today, liberals on here seem to actually think something has changed and that Kamala is gonna bring in more votes than Biden would have. It's so weird how Reddit gets swayed so easily by the news cycle. Alright, so according to Reddit 98% will vote for Harris. This is what messed me up in 2016. We're in an echo chamber on Reddit. I was so damn sure Hillary would win because of the comments on Reddit. This is hands down the most problematic thing about Reddit. Massive echo chamber, and this applies to lots of different things, not just politics. Edit, ask me about the time I was banned from r. Mommet for saying pit bulls should be banned on a poster mom made about her child being attacked by a pit bull. Did not break one sub rule. Banned for having a dissenting opinion and saying something a mod didn't care for. Asking Redditors if they will vote blue no matter who, can't imagine how this will turn out. Anyone who even slightly criticizes Kamala is now getting downvoted to hell. Those exact same complaints 2 days ago would have been upvoted. Reddit is a horrible place to have nuanced discussions. The Democratic candidate is just as irrelevant today as it was last week. The 2024 presidential election has boiled down to, yes Trump, or no Trump. 100%. It makes posts like OPs feel like it's from a foreign agent asking for any small problems people have so they can amplify them on social media. Edit, they are even replying to this comment lol. 6-month-old account with a whole lot of pro-Russia anti-Democrat comments. So many of these accounts are 6 months old. I voted for every GOP presidential candidate from Reagan to Romney. But I will crawl a mile on broken glass to vote against Trump. It doesn't matter who is running against him. I used to vote Republican back in the old days. However, there's no way in hell I'd vote for Trump ever. I also used to vote Republican back in the, really, old days as well, pre-Bush, Iraq War, unfunded tax cuts, etc. But I'm at the point where I can't see myself voting for any Republican now as they all seem absolutely horrid. Tax cuts and massive government spending, bailouts, huge deficits and debt, pro-Russia, anti-Ukraine, voter suppression, etc. It's insane. You're essentially asking Reddit if they're voting for Trump. Nobody is going to give you a different answer here because they'll be downvoted to hell. Seriously, any mention of not wanting Kamala is met by downvotes from people thinking that everyone is happy with her being the nominee. As an outsider looking in, I have to say this sudden love for her is interesting. Considering how much the left hated her for keeping black people in jail, among other things, this is quite the turnaround. This such an obvious bait thread. Whether they're baiting prey to argue with, or they're baiting to calm a farm and circle jerk. Yes, because I know that her cabinet will be competent. Trump is gonna pick people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. We don't need 4 years of that. And Aileen Cannon for Supreme Court. Presidential appointments are just as important as presidential actions. Looking at the current Supreme Court, presidential appointments are almost more important than presidential actions. Trump only picks people who are loyal to him regardless of their competency. Which is funny, because 40 of his 44 cabinet officers won't endorse him, and half a dozen have overtly stated he's a threat to the US or not competent to hold the office. You're on Reddit, you already know the answers you're going to get. The point is that this thread allows the bots to operate and farm comments. I reported 2 bot accounts on our politics and was immediately banned. A bigger issue is non-political subs have turned into totally biased political subs. I was banned from Tennessee for countering obvious lies after growing tired of every thread being, Tennessee is an alt-right, racist hellhole. I didn't break a single rule and couldn't get a response when I asked what comment broke which rule. Nashville is the exact same thing. Every thread devolves into, alt-right, racist Californian transplants are turning Nashville in a racist hellhole. Yes, I would vote for a turnip over Trump. I was more than willing to vote for Joe Biden's corpse. What can be unburdened by what has been? These comments are wild. What does that even mean? Can you please explain? It's a line from a speech that she reused roughly 60 times. There's a supercut of it floating around. Taken at face value, it simply means you are not bound by the past or tradition. Essentially what she means, if you add in implied words, is, imagine what we can be if we are unburdened by the belief we can only be what has been. Quote. Yes, because the other candidate wants to install himself as America's first Caesar. I don't vote for insurrectionists and aspiring authoritarians. If you're going to use a Roman analogy, Nero is the better choice. Julius Caesar is the one that tried to turn the Republic into a permanent dictatorship. That's what Trump would like to do. Nero was just batshit crazy. Nero wasn't actually as bad as he's made out to be. He actually passed some progressive laws and did a lot to rebuild Rome after the fire. Sure, a big chunk of it was for his party palace, but he also helped people displaced by the fires, passed laws to prevent another disaster, and paid for a lot of it himself. He also persecuted Christians and was obsessed with killing his mother after killing his cousin, but still. ETA, really Commodus would be a better analogy. Reddit is dominantly left-leaning lol. You will not get an accurate opinion here. This thread, like most political threads, are really just bot posted for bot karma farming. All these subs are looking like the same echo chamber. Reddit is and always has been an echo chamber. I might be trippin', but I feel like it's being put into overdrive right now and will continue to be until the end of the election. So many subs that aren't political by nature are being overwhelmed by political posts attacking the right. Not always. Changed distinctly 2008 through 2012 and a lot less subtly around 2015-2016 and has gotten much worse since then. How did this happen, again? Quote. I'll vote for Brent Peterson. Asking Reddit if they are voting Dem is like asking in a Christian church if they believe in God. I will vote for a responsible adult. That leaves Trump out. A grilled cheese sandwich would get my vote instead of Trump. To be fair, I'd vote for a grilled cheese sandwich over a candidate I actually liked. Grilled cheese. Now I'm hungry. A bowl of tomato soup as VP. Removed. I clicked on this thread genuinely wanting to know the general population's thoughts on Kamala, but that was dumb of me lol. I actually read a post where all the commenters were telling someone to disown the dad for liking Trump. Now polling has gone to hell because no one wants to actually say their opinions in fear of retribution. So they just silently vote one way while pretending the other. Which candidate can get us mandatory 5-week paid vacations just like in Europe? Do Democrats even talk about that? Worker rights, whichever candidate fights for workeries gets my vote. No, she's useless. Yes, because she isn't a Russian stooge. Y'all still believe that tears of joy. That's what our politics brain rot does to the average Redditor. Let's post this question on a website that's 95% Democrats and see the responses. Removed. You are asking on a one-sided platform. Rhetorical question. The thread is designed to allow bot accounts to generate content. I reported to obvious bot accounts on our politics and the mods immediately banned me. They get paid to run these bot farms. Not a criminal, not going to use the office to prosecute and persecute her enemies. She seems to actually care about the country and just not stroking her own ego, image. Does not encourage and support those who don't support our democratic process, aka insurrectionists. Ask this question on a platform such as X or YouTube and you'll get much different results. Reddit is a heavily liberal platform. There is no social media venue that isn't an echo chamber of some sort. They're all wrong. If only there was a way to make the terminally online more skeptical of their own certainty. Nope, she is completely inept and was a horrible VP. She did nothing but cackle about the passage of time for 4 years lol. Yup, anything to stop Trump. I hope it's enough. No, she's unlikable in so many ways, and manages to have a fraction of the charisma that even Hillary had. And we all saw how forcing an unlikable candidate down everyone's throats worked out in 2016. Pretty much guarantees Trump wins. Yeah, the anyone but Trump mentality sure saw a lot of people staying home on election day. Why is how charismatic they are the deciding factor for you and not their policy? Not a chance in hell. Bro Reddit was about to vote for a husk, no shit they are voting Kamala. Absurdly rhetorical question. I have no idea what she's actually done in the last 4 years aside from making appearances. Serious, I need to look into how she's contributed to what's happened since her being in office. Anyone reading this who does know what she has done, please provide me some info. Look up what she did before she became VP and that will tell you all you need to know. She smoked, still smokes a lot of weed, put many people in prison for smoking weed, put an innocent black man on death row, laughed about putting people in prison for smoking weed, had an affair with a woman's husband, the list goes on. Don't forget her incredibly cheesy tweet defending Jussie Smollett when it was obvious he was faking. So, you asked what she has done and it looks like you have a lot of replies but no answers of what she has truly accomplished. I think that is the answer. I'm not a fan of the fact that her term in Cali saw the second highest number of marijuana convictions in their history, but for some reason refused to charge fraudulent banks for mortgage fraud. She's just another goddamn cop, so I fucking do not like her. But Trump is still worse, which says a lot. What does any VP ever do? They have almost no power, so they can't do much. She worked on maternal mortality for a bit, and some criminal justice initiatives in line with her background. Agreed, VPs aren't typically tasked with many assignments. Unfortunately for her, she was given an assignment called controlling the border, immigration, at which most feel she failed miserably. Perhaps not a fair assessment, maybe she wasn't really given any tools to succeed, but I think the majority of public opinion feels this way.